Oh, hey. What's happening, guys? What's happening with you? It is a rainy Monday morning in Los Angeles, California. Well, it's raining in LA, and it's time to start the day on the Morning Coffee YouTube show. I see in the chat, Kim is first yet again. And I want to wish everyone a great morning and a coffee cheers from the official first version Coffee Cheers mug. Now available version number 3 on Teespring. Link is probably in the chat or pinned to the comments or somewhere, malandarras.com/mug. Get in where you fit in. Yeah, it's day 1 of daylight savings. Liam says, the time change messed up my early rising schedule. Yeah, I hate this. Hopefully this will be the year that we officially do away with daylight savings. I'm going to fix the lighting real quick here. Let's see if that, a little bright on my face. No, it didn't make much difference at all. Daylight savings is one of those things I dread every year. You never know. I don't know. I don't pay attention. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go backwards? Am I going to get more sleep, less sleep? I have seen that they're trying to pass some sort of a legislation or something that says we're done. I don't think it'll last much longer. But they've been saying that since I was in high school. So Diligentius is in the house. Liam's here. Bolo, Bobblehead, Kim, Math showed up. What's up? Good morning, everybody. Big coffee cheers to you. AMC to the moon is right. What's up, Jay? JYH. Yeah, today I woke up and in pre-market, GME and AMC going bananas. AMC's at $14 a share. I had 1,100 shares, I think, at one point with a cost basis of about $8. So that put me at about 6,600 profit if I hadn't sold at, I think at 11. And I still have some that are there just in case it decides to go to $1,000 a share. GME, I'm playing the dip game today. Picked up shares around 265. I'm waiting for them to get back to over 280. Then it will auto sell them. And again, I have some stashed away in case that thing goes to $50,000 a share. We will see. And yeah, it's the weekend's over, man. It's Monday. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you took a break, got some rest, let the campaigns run, let the machines do the work. Affiliate marketing is the only business I've ever found where you tell people how to play the game and you say you set it up and you let the machines do the work, meaning you leave it alone. And they will literally ask you, what do I do while I'm leaving it alone? Should I be finding new this, doing this? And then it's like, go for a walk. Go grocery shopping. Hang out with your kids. But you know, obsession is part of it, so hey. Today in Backyard News, I have something I want to share with you guys. Let's go through a little news. I have some funny news ideas. Well, not news ideas, just some funny things that popped in my head this morning. But this weekend, let's talk about my squirrel. I have this squirrel who's been acting crazy and getting very fat. And I thought, I'm overfeeding these things. This thing is getting obese, like it's going to have diabetes soon. And I noticed this squirrel that I called Benny, named after my little brother because I thought it was a boy. He was getting real aggressive with the dad named Charlie, which was my dad's name. And he chased Charlie off his food for the first time ever. Charlie usually runs the show. I witnessed it and I thought, oh man, I'm feeding his son way too much and he's getting too big now, and now his dad can't handle him. You know, it's that old son standing up to dad after, you know, years of dad being in total control. At some point, the son stands up and there's a fist fight, and that happened at my house. I remember it well. Dark night. But anyway, so I thought I'm going to stop feeding this guy so much. And then that evening, the squirrel came down and was aggressively like knocking on my door and jumping up and down, climbing the screen, trying to get some food. And so I just started feeding it. I like, what? And the behavior was very strange. And then it hit me. When the sun went down, the squirrel was still at the door asking for food, which normally when the sun goes down, they're up the tree. The last little bits of sunlight were there, and that squirrel was banging on the door like, give me some food. And I continued to give it food. Then it hit me. And I Googled pregnant squirrel. And sure enough, what I have is a female who is very extraordinarily pregnant. I thought the dude was getting fat. And it's a girl, and she's pregnant with probably 5 squirrel babies, which is the most exciting thing that happened here this weekend. I'll tell you that. We're going to have 5 little squirrel babies pop up. I've seen them before. At one point I had 14 squirrels, 2 families in the backyard. So I want to congratulate my new squirrel, who I have now named, is no longer Benny, and is now named Rudy, named after my sister. So now I have my dad. The squirrel dad is Charlie. The oldest son is named Jeremiah, after my brother, who was the oldest son. And now we had Benny, but now it's Rudy, which is a nickname for my sister, who just announced yesterday on Facebook that she got married to her girlfriend, Chelsea, now wife, Chelsea. So congratulations to my sis and her wife. They secretly got married last year in the Arizona desert. Looked like a beautiful ceremony. And now they made it official yesterday and told everyone on Facebook. So we're all congratulating them. So my squirrel, Rudy, has babies on the way. My sister, Rudy, just got married. So it's a good Rudy day. Rootin' tootin'. Then I woke up this morning and the headline was, the trending Twitter thing was Catholic Church. And just this morning, a guy dressed as a wizard, who people call the Pope, announced that the Catholic Church just can't allow gay marriage because it is a sin. God cannot bless sin. And it made me think of headlines. And what a strange contradiction and hypocritical headline that is. And if there's anything that bothers me in the world, it's hypocrisy. It's when someone tells everyone else they have to do things a certain way, but they're doing the same thing. Or they complain when someone else does, like if you're on one team, if the other team does it, it's the end of the world, but if your team does it, it's a conspiracy theory and totally understandable. Those are the things that make me nuts. And the Pope saying anything about sex is hilarious. Because if you think about it, the Pope is really the head of the largest gay pedophile network in the history of the world. And they're also tax-free. And he's just a regular guy dressed up in a wizard costume, chanting and saying special things and doing God knows what in the background. You know, it's always been my theory that if there is a God and if he came back to earth, the first thing he would do is close all the churches. Because in my opinion, they are the most evil empires ever created by man. Big fan of religion, big fan of believing in God and gods and all that. But these churches are evil, man. And so I thought of a game we could play, or that I can play, because I like to write headlines. And I'm going to start a hashtag called Rewrite That Headline. You can play along if you want. And so that news today, the Pope says gay marriage is a sin. You could rewrite that as hashtag rewrite the headline. Let's make it rewrite the headline, hashtag. And it would be something like, leader of the world's largest gay pedophile network, while dressed as a wizard, announced that forcing sex with grown men on young boys is fine, but if two grown adults of the same sex want to get married, it's a sin. And the simulation winks, because it's so stupid. But you could write that headline. It is true. It's a real headline. And if we learned anything from the last few years, it's that you can twist a headline to anything. I mean, at one point, if Trump went golfing, the left would write that big stupid idiot goes out on the thing while he's supposed to be doing his work and he's not paying attention to his job and his hair looks stupid and he sucks at golf. And then the other side writes, man, the best leader of the world spends time on the golf course to relax in between powerful work sessions. You know, you can completely change the narrative using a headline and kind of be true either way. Just depends on which one you read. And you usually read the one that you agree with. You only read that news. So that's the new hashtag idea. Hashtag rewrite the headline. And you try to make it as funny and real as possible while still being true. Anyway, there's that. I may do it, I may not do it. Because it sounds like a great way to drive people crazy on Twitter, if nothing else. See what you guys are talking about. Okay, they're saying AMC is above $14. Are you serious? Yeah, wow. Oh, GME dropped to $2.50. Ooh wee. And I bought in some and I was trying to buy the dip and sell the rise. We'll see if I get stuck with that. What's up, Stefan? He says, I'll listen later when I get some sleep. When I go to sleep. Yeah, whatever, man. You people in different parts of the world, watch it later on in the day. Diligentius is being cool. He says, come on, people. Can we all please hit that like button? That's what I'm talking about. Sending a signal out into the universe that there are live human beings here talking about guitars, headlines, and the madness of the world. And GME and AMC. You know who's feeling real good right now is Roaring Kitty. After the congressional hearing, they thought they were going to make fun of him, and asked him if he was going to buy, if he still liked the stock, and he said yes. And they weren't expecting that. And just maybe 2 days after it, because the price had dropped from $500 to $43 a share. So they asked, you still like the stock? And he said, yeah. And then a day later, or 2 days later, he bought 50,000 more shares at $40 a share or so. And so now that it's pushing 300 again, do the math, He's up $250 per share, $250 a share times $50,000. I think that's well over 10 million. So he's winning again. He now has at least 100,000 shares. And I know the initial shares he was buying for $3 and $4 a piece way back years ago. So man, it's wild to watch. You got this dude, I don't know how old he is, 23, 24. He's probably gonna wind up, you know, over $100 million on this thing that he was not expecting to ever make that much money on, I'm sure. Other people have made tens of millions. And what's cool is they're donating a lot of the money to charities around the world. Of course, CNBC and the mainstream media doesn't pick that up. The one story they told about a retail investor, which is what they call people like us, was a guy who took, this is a very dumb thing to do, a complete moron who took out a $20,000 credit card or a $20,000 loan, and he bought the stock and it dropped and I guess he lost all his money. That's the story they ran on the media. Not that kids had made and young people had made thousands, tens of thousands, millions, tens of millions, possibly hundreds of millions, and that they were buying PlayStations and donating to charity and going to food banks and pulling their cars up just filled with toys for kids. Now they're sponsoring gorillas around the world. They're buying, they're sponsoring and adopting animals from all over the world. Hundreds of them are posting them on Reddit right now. None of that gets picked up. They say that the Redditor crowd is manipulating stock. That's the way they put it. These kids are freedom fighters, man. It's the closest thing I've seen to an actual revolution with a point in a long time. Like there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but most of it doesn't have a point. People are just angry, so like we're gonna burn stuff down. Like it doesn't really. It was kind of like what was that called? The failed thing that they tried along Occupy Wall Street, which did nothing. I mean, I was with them. I'm down with the cause. But their efforts resulted in zero change. And now these guys are really, really doing something that has financial consequences for the banks and Wall Street and hedge funds and all that. It's great to see. So yeah, man, woke up in a good mood. Kim says they're adopting gorillas now. It's awesome. They're adopting gorillas with the money they made off of GameStop. Yeah, they're adopting gorillas. I've seen people sponsoring cows in villages because someone has to pay for this stuff, you know. And for $500, you can basically provide food for a gorilla for what? A month, week, year? I don't know how much gorilla food costs. Ooh, yeah, this time change has got me, guys. I don't know if it's got you, but it's got me good. Bam, I need more coffee. Plus, I think it's got to be something to do with the weather. It's like pouring rain right now. But even in the rain, I've probably got 15 mourning doves outside picking around for seeds in the water. They are dedicated, man, or just hungry. So what'd you guys do this weekend? Anybody do anything interesting? Post it in the chat. I did some light work on a record that I'm working on this weekend. Trying my hand at some guitar solos for the first time in my life. And much like with anything else, this is something I was thinking of this weekend to talk to you guys about. A long time ago, I saw a video by Casey Neistat, the YouTuber. And it was called Do What You Can't. And what he was talking about was, I forget the exact message, but what it meant to me was like, in our minds, you say that I can't do this thing, so you don't do it. But if you try, you might find out that you can do it. And that's how my whole life has been. I think I can't do something, I try it, and I do it. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I just do that? And music production and guitar solos and anything that I think of, like music, I think I can't do this song. Like we did a cover version of an Alice in Chains song last year, me and a friend of mine, Zach Busby from Dallas, Texas. Best rock and roll bass player in Dallas, Texas, hands down. I met him when I was 18. We played together for 6 years, and he has continued on. And now, 25 or so years later, he's a bass institution in Dallas, Texas, and he's played with everybody from the Burden Brothers and the Course of Empire guys with the Project Halls of the Machine. Slow Roosevelt he was in for a while. But he runs around in big circles, done a lot of tours. Toured with a punk band called Only Crime. He's just done a lot. Great bass player. But he wanted to do an Alice in Chains tune called Rotten Apple. And I thought, I can't do this. How the hell am I going to produce this? But instead of saying I can't do it, I said I'll try. And about an hour later, I sent him a working version of it, and his response was, holy shit, dude. That sounds just like Alice in Chains. And it did. It sounded pretty good. It was pretty close. And I thought, wow, it's so weird. And so with guitar solos, I sit down and I go, I can't do this. And then when I'm done, I'm like, how did I do that? I did it. And it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies I've told myself my whole life, like I can't play solos. And man, you have to not talk to yourself like that. As a young kid, I used to tell myself I'm going to end up in prison. It was like a rotating thought that just revolved around my head. When I saw the prison in McAllister, I remember being a kid, seeing it out of the back window of Mom's car or Dad's car as we were driving down the highway. I'd see that building and go, in my head, I'd go, someday I'm going to live there. And if you know anything about me, there was a point a long time ago where that was very close to happening. But the winds blew just slightly the other direction, and I crash landed in LA instead. Which brings us to today, on a morning coffee episode, drinking coffee with some people from around the world, having a good time, watching morning doves. Life is strange. But you got to watch those limiting thoughts, man. Or if you've decided that you're a type of person that does X, like, I just don't get along with other people. You got to stop saying that, or that will be true. I don't know how to make friends. You got to stop saying that, or it will be true. It's one of those frou-frou things that absolutely works. You start telling yourself you can do those things, and that will come true too. It's like life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a choose your own adventure. Whatever you think about becomes real. So why not think good stuff? Non-limiting thoughts. It's more fun that way. And that is your life skills update from a son of an outlaw country musician and a Mormon Sunday school teacher, born in a little town in Oklahoma, who probably shouldn't be giving out life advice to people from around the world, because his own life has been a complete carnival. A carnival of the human race, cotton candy, happy face, child talking with his mouth full, girlfriend gets stuffed animal at the carnival. And if anybody recognizes those lyrics and posts it in the chat, I will be your best friend. Carnival of the human race, cotton candy, happy face, child talking with his mouth full, girlfriend gets stuffed animal. Festive mood is all around. Carnival is what we've found. Step right up, let's make a deal. Ride the Ferris wheel. If anybody can figure that out, that means you're cool. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. I'm over here just rambling. August says we're early. Yeah, the time change has us all. Some of the Redditors are adopting elephants too. Yeah, I've seen that. Did you paint the wall different? No, the entryway light is on. So it does look different. I can see it in the replay. Quite strange. Ah, people are starting to get it. And what is this? Arvasak. $1. What is it? Oh, he did a super chat. I have super chat. Nice. It's like a, what is that, a £1? No. What is that? That is the first super chat I've ever gotten. I feel like it's like getting your first sale on a euro, €1. I got €1, dude. That's the first super chat I've ever gotten. From Arvasek, and I don't even know that we've talked before, Arvasek. Bolo says you made your first conversion. Yeah, I just made a conversion. I made $1 on YouTube. That's $1 an hour, man. That's pretty dope. That's almost as much as I made on my first sale, $27 over 6 months. What does that work out to? How many days are in 6 months? 180 divided by 27. That's $6.66. That's $6.66 a day. How funny is that? It's an odd thing when you're into numbers, how often 666 comes up in my stats. It's so strange. And when you start watching for it, you know, I'll see a campaign and it will have made $666 profit. It's so weird. Now how many hours are in a day? 24 hours times 180 days. That's 4,500 hours divided by $6.66. No, what would I do? Divided by $27. No, that's not right. Oh, $27 divided by 45. I say 45,000 hours? No, 4,500 hours. 0.006 cents an hour is what I was making in the beginning on my affiliate campaigns. 0.006 cents an hour. What kept you going during those 6 months? Obsession. Desperation. My life, I wanted some way to make some extra money, man. I knew the first time I got on the internet, the first thought I had was, wow, this is cool. There's got to be a way to make money with this. I was 25 years old. I came into the affiliate marketing game at the end of 2008, at the age of 34. So that decade I had been taking little pot shots. So only taking 6 months to make $27 was a big improvement. It was progress. And progress is a hell of a drug. So thank you to Arvasak for my first ever super chat. That's so crazy. Billy Bell spent many hours this weekend working on a jigsaw puzzle. Man, I'm down with puzzles. My mom used to do puzzles when we were kids. And I never understood it. Of course, when you're a kid, it doesn't make any sense that someone would sit there and put a puzzle together for 2 hours over multiple days. But then as you get older, you realize putting a puzzle together is basically meditation. You're focused 100% on this puzzle. And it's a great way to kind of free your mind and forget about what's going on, because you have to pay attention to what you're doing. It's like driving in a car. You have to kind of pay attention to what you're doing on the road, so your mind can't sit there and go, I'm having such a terrible day. I should have talked to that girl I saw at the store. Why didn't I stand up to that guy in middle school, and all that kind of stuff? Man, if I just had my dad around still, life would be so much. You're driving a car at 75 miles an hour. You got to pay attention, so it kind of relaxes your mind. Jigsaw puzzle does the same thing. I'm a big fan. I don't do puzzles on a regular basis, but I see it's like knitting. I have friends that knit, And that's also a meditation. You just sit there and knit. I have an aunt that can knit anything. She could probably do a knitted house if she wanted to. So that's cool. August says we had a dust storm, stayed at home all weekend. That's awful. And I got to give it up for Bobblehead and Bolo for naming the band I was talking about earlier, is Mr. Bungle. And the song is called Carnival, I think. I don't know. I forget the name of the exact song. But it's from an album. They're called Mr. Bungle, and it was self-titled. The album was just called Mr. Bungle. And if you're into crazy music, like really high-level, multi-genre music, these guys, it's the best album of all time in that regard. Came out in like 1990 or something. And they do everything from death metal, Carousel, that's what it's called. If you want to know what's behind the show, ride my carousel, something, something, sound. He was just great. That band was crazy. It's like full-on jazz, country, death metal, rap, funk, and then they do like skits, and there's talking in between the songs. The lyrics are some of the wildest lyrics you will ever read in your life. And they did it when they were like high school kids. And then Mike Patton, of course, joined Faith No More, and they became a platinum selling band, which allowed him, now that he had some pull in the music business, he got Mr. Bungle signed to Warner Brothers as well, and they got a major release by Warner Brothers, which they never imagined. And then when you hear this album, you won't believe. My mom found the album one time in my little brother Zach's bedroom, and she threw the whole thing away because she read the lyrics. The lyrics are wild. Everything from death to sex, to having sex with food, to dead bodies, to kittens, to just having fun, to a guy going to the bathroom. Like there's a full section of a song where a guy's just going to the bathroom. But if you're into wild music, like if you're into pop music, this is not for you. You will not like it. It will terrify you and scare your kids and all that. But if you're into very extremely alternative stuff, like I think of them like a Frank Zappa next level. Like they took it to an extreme level. And the great thing about them is when they're doing jazz, they're one of the best jazz bands you've ever heard. When they're doing death metal, they do it better than anybody, or as good as anybody or better. When they do funk, it's as good as anybody or better. When they play country, it's as good as anybody or better. Every genre that they go into, and it's multiple genres per song, they do it really well. So if you're a fan of that, and you can you're not listening to a song to like dance around to it, but you can appreciate musicianship, that's the greatest album of all time, probably. And no one knows who they are. Not really. So if you search for it and find it, don't blame me. I told you, I warned you. The song's about masturbation, like all kinds of crazy stuff. One about his dog, Stub-a-Dub. Truth spitting. I want to talk about your question, but I don't know what it means. Let's try how to work out with terrible work ethic and risk aversion. How to work out? You mean like work out physically? Because the trick with working out, if you don't feel like working out, you have to start working out, and then you'll start feeling like working out. It's a trick. If you don't feel like working out, start working out, and then pretty soon you'll feel like working out. Christopher Lowe says, "Good morning, people. I'm late again." That's all right. We're here, man. Billy Bell says, "You got it perfect. That's how I feel when I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle. I tell my family I'm going to zen out." Yeah. I thought Mom was just, it's kind of a nerdy, what is she, a nerd making puzzles? How boring is that? Because you're a teenager out on the scene trying to meet some girls, start a band, find some booze and some weed. You're about being out and about and running around and all that stuff. And then when you become your parents' age that they were at that time, you find yourself with a puzzle in front of you and go, oh. It's a fun thing about growing up. About every 7 or 10 years I go, all right, I get it now. Like my dad, I'm older than he ever was at this point. Right now I'm 5 years older than my dad ever was. And just recently, like this weekend, I was thinking about it, and for the first time now I see him as almost like a little brother, like a contemporary. He's not just a guy who screwed up my life or who did all these bad things or was this, he should have done this, he should have done that. Now I see him like a little brother who had a lot of problems. And over the years, family members have divulged some of the reasons why he had the problems that he did. And it makes total sense. I can totally understand now because I've lived that life and I know more of the background story. I lived his life. The only difference is I survived. But I got lucky in a lot of ways. A lot of good things happened to me in my mid-30s that saved me. Affiliate marketing is one of them. That was another thought I had this weekend was, I think affiliate marketing, I think if I didn't hit in that, I don't know that I'd be alive. I don't know. Because it gave me hope. It allowed me to work from home. Because I'm just not one built for sitting at a desk, having people yell at me and tell me what to do and all that. It hurts. I wasn't enjoying it. No one enjoys it, really. Even a fun job. I had great jobs, great positions with great salaries. But my soul was just dying. And then it was like, boom, here you go. I'm like, okay, I think I can stick around longer with this. This is pretty fun to do. August says, I'm more of an indie folk person. If they have an album dedicated to this genre, I'll look into it. No, they're straight up death metal, jazz, funk. They did do a more relaxed album called California. And it kind of sounds like beach surfer music. But again, it's got a very strange twist to it. It's not pop-friendly music at all. In fact, in their live shows, one of my favorite things about Mike Patton is how in their live shows, he doesn't come out and go, how's everybody doing tonight? Are we ready to have a great time? He doesn't do that at all. I saw him open for Tool in Tulsa, and he came out and he made fun of Oklahoma through the whole show, saying, you know, I hear there's lots of guys like to bang steers here and stuff like that. And the crowd didn't know what to do, and then they just started booing and like banging against the stage. And that's his kind of thing. It's like confrontational. Like, we're not here to have a good time. I'm here to get in a fist fight with you. You know, and that's the energy of the show. And for me, that's the fun energy. Although, you know, I can appreciate a great concert where they come out and go, everybody have a great time, and you raise your hands and everybody sings the lyrics, and that's really good. But that his style is more of a punk rock ethic where they come on stage and it's a confrontation. It is a major confrontation, and there are videos of him where he tackles people who jump on stage, puts them in headlocks, you know, punches them. It's just a different world. But if you're into James Taylor and stuff like that, like, it's not going to be your bag. It's not going to be for you at all. I have this weird brain where I can listen to John Denver and really love it, Beethoven and really love it, country music, Willie Nelson and really love it. I can listen to Slayer and really love it. I can listen to anything and really love it. 50 Cent, I love gangster rap. And it's more about just seeing the art, like appreciating the art for what it is. It has nothing to do with musical style or genre. I even like a well-written pop song, like Adele's Hello is, I think, one of my favorite well-written songs. Do I listen to Adele a lot? No. Her albums are pretty damn good, though, for that style of music. You know, Taylor Swift writes her, or whoever writes her songs, they're well-written pop songs. For that genre, they're just as good as you can be. But as far as like music, they're not that great. If you want to compare her songs to, you know, Janis Joplin, Taylor Swift is basically, who's the most plastic Barbie pop star? Britney Spears, basically. Sinead O'Connor, there's a good one. Looks like the gang's all here. We've got about the same number of people as we usually do. That's all good. I like to break records, but you can't break records every day. I think I sang a song about it in another stream called Rome Isn't Built in a Day. And I sang it and posted it somewhere, I think on Instagram. Let's do a little check. I want to see where these things are. Oh, AMC dipping heavy. 1375, GME dipping heavy. It's down $20 from where it was when this stream started. Christopher Lowe says pop music is for the money. Yeah, they make a lot of money doing that. In pop music, the goal, it's funny, the goal of pop music is you have to dumb it down enough that anybody can like it. So you can't have any really controversial lyrics. You can't have any strange chord changes or sounds. It's got to be pretty much, you know, Party in the USA, those kind of songs, you know, they just work. And they're so bad that the general public can appreciate them from anywhere. Speaking of people from anywhere, we've got Felipe in the house from Brazil. He says, cheers from Brazil. Yeah, pop songs lack meaningful lyrics, that's for sure. Because you can only write about certain things and the general public that they can accept or understand. Broken hearts, falling in love. You know, in country music, it's getting drunk and driving your pickup truck. In rap music, it's like getting all this money and living in a mansion. You know, and in rock music, it's like we don't care what anyone says, we're doing our own thing. But a band like Mr. Bungle, they just barely, they're never going to be accepted widely because they talk about crazy stuff and they play crazy stuff. But there's a small audience of people who get it, who like me have been fans for their entire lives. I got to see him, I saw Tomahawk open up for Tool. I was wrong about that. I saw Mr. Bungle play their first show in Oklahoma ever on the California tour at a place called the Will Rogers Theater. And you can imagine what Mike Patton was saying there. He was mocking the place. Like, Will Rogers Theater, what decade, what century is this? Or like, well, the Cowboys are going to come out on horses and shoot us when we leave out of town? You know, the crowd's like, wait a minute, is he making fun of us? It's like, yeah, I am. I'm making fun of you. Like, do you want to come on stage and get into a fight? Because we can do that. We can do that. Good times. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? Billy Bell is posting Janis Joplin lyrics. Yeah, she was great, man. Mad Society's blowing up right now. We've had some of the best energy we've had in years right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm streaming here again. I don't know, but a bunch of new people have shown up. And we got follow-alongs blowing up. People are making money, losing money, and everybody's fighting with, you know, posting with them and trying to help them along the way. Beautiful thing to see, man. It reminds me of when we very first started in like 2014 or 2015, whenever that was. It's been really great lately. How about Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me? That's a good one. There have been eras when good music was actually the pop music, you know, 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s. There was some great music then. 80s, it started to kind of thin out, although I loved those songs, you know, those vapid, empty 80s songs that we all used to love. Bands like Duran Duran and Quiet Riot and Madonna, you know, whoever else was going at the time. You listen back and go, how was this allowed to be a hit? But I'll tell you this, when Duran Duran comes on, I have so many memories associated with those songs. Oh, like middle school dances or whatever. You kind of listen. You're like, her name is Rio and she dances on. And you can't believe you're singing along with Duran Duran. And then Michael Jackson came out and spanked everybody. I I remember when Michael Jackson hit because I was in grade school, and all the girls showed up one day to school and they had taken their Duran Duran buttons and pins off of their jackets, which was the style back then. You had like band, your crush, celebrity, you know, Ralph Macchio and Duran Duran, whatever. And everyone had taken off all their Duran Duran buttons and they had Michael Jackson buttons on now. And all the girls were in love with Michael Jackson. And it was like overnight. And all the boys, all us young boys, we were jealous because, you know, all our girlfriends were in love with Michael Jackson now. It's like, how can we compete? He's so good. What's up, Brendan? I'm trying to figure out who did that super chat. Is he still here? R. Vasak. Yeah, it's funny. I've never seen that name before. He dropped £1 into the super chat and is gone. You know I'm bad, I'm bad. Yeah, those were the days. And then Weird Al came out with I'm fat, I'm fat. Imagine trying to release that song today. You'd be canceled immediately for body shaming. That's what it would be. Not just having a good time and a funny song. It'd be body shaming, fat shaming, anti-women. You'd be labeled a racist, xenophobic, genocidal, gender hatred, whatever. A Weird Al would be canceled in a heartbeat. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church is still open and tax-free. It's like we have no priorities. Or we have the wrong priorities. But yeah, that's what's up with me. How far? We're 47 minutes in. That's probably pretty good. Let's start wrapping things up. I'm in the mood for a monster. This coffee has my stomach craving a monster now that I'm addicted to. I'm not afraid to say it. I need to check this GME situation on too, because I was buying some shares and I was buying the dip, selling them when they got higher. And then last time I checked, it was just dip, 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 dip. And that happens. And sometimes it helps to be on the live stream and not worry about it. Ooh, it's down to 250. Wow. That's a dip. If you were going to buy a dip, that's the one to buy. Because it hit as high as, what's the high today? High of 283, low of 223. Wow, that must have been where it opened. It's still up $25 from open, I think. 20. Well, it says it's down 4% on the day. I don't know. GME's still doing, or AMC's still doing crazy stuff. What's your favorite 3 crypto? Oh, that's easy. Also, I'm not a crypto-focused person. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin are my 3 favorites. They're really the only 3 I know anything about. I think Dogecoin at some point could really skyrocket. It's a joke coin, it's like a meme coin. But the more people like Elon Musk talk about that, every time he mentions it, it goes up by like 40%. So if you wanted to get a very low risk entry into the crypto game, and you have to think, this isn't like the future of currency like Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. It's literally just a meme coin. But as we're seeing with GME and AMC, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars can be made on these things if you get in at early. So Dogecoin is like, what is it, 0.05 cents a coin right now? If you were to buy, let's do some math. If you were to spend $100 divided by 0.05 cents, you'd have 2,000. So you could invest $100. And if Dogecoin did go crazy, and they're saying it could hit $1, and you had 2,000, you'd have $2,000 in a $100 investment. It's so low risk that it's like, I actually signed up for Binance so I could buy Dogecoin. I just wanted to get like some in case it went nuts. And if it never went nuts, it'd be an amount of money that I could afford to just leave just for fun. Whether that's $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, that's different for everybody. But after witnessing GME and AMC, I'm saying Dogecoin could do anything. But it's more of a joke. But it seems like from everybody I've talked to, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only plays, and it's really only Bitcoin. Like if you wanted to just stick with one thing, just put your money in Bitcoin, forget about it. If the price dips, buy some more. But don't listen to me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I am not your financial advisor. I'm your odd friend from YouTube. Today a coin has been added to Binance and it did 25,000% ROI in a day. Crypto is crazy. Wow. Those are big numbers. Yeah, what I've read is the altcoins are basically good if you want to day trade and you want to get in and risk some money and see if something will do 25,000% ROI. So if you bought $1 worth, what would it be? It'd be worth $25,000 at now. And if you want to get in and hit something like that, those possibilities are there. But this coin, whatever it is, probably won't be around in a month, 3 months. It'll probably, after the hype is done. Bitcoin seems to be the one that's going to be implemented as a future currency, which makes me wish I still had my early Bitcoin when I bought for like 50 or somewhere between 50 and $100 a coin. And they were all lost to Mt. Gox, mtgox.com. And their bankruptcy proceedings are still ongoing in China. And if I do get my coins back, it will be significant. I believe 6 figures. But the chances of getting them back, who knows? It's been 8 years or something, 6, 7 years. Yeah, I signed up for Binance, but I can't get approved. It's still pending approval like weeks later. So I don't know what's going on with that, although I did hear Binance got hacked and they stole a lot of private information. I don't know if they lost coins or how that went, but it was recently hacked, I think for the second time. Isn't crypto like roulette? That's how I see it. I don't know. Yeah, it is, other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. It seems like Bitcoin, it's super high right now, like the price is so high. When you look at the timeline, like earlier this year, it was 10,000, 20,000 a coin, now it's 60. Could be a bubble, I don't know. It's one of those things, you buy it and you just forget about it. And some people saying that they could be worth $1 million a coin right now. So if you had 50 grand to buy one coin, it might be worth $1 million one day in the near future. I mean, with those things, anything can happen. Or it could be worth $10, So I look at it the way I look at index funds. You're not really trying to buy a certain stock or a certain time. You just take a certain amount of money either once, you drop a bunch of money into it or whatever you can afford, and then you just forget about it for the rest of your life. And maybe sell if it hits $1 million or something. Or you put in a little bit a month, $10 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever you can think. And that way, like with index funds, I have an auto investment every month. It just goes away. And it keeps stacking up in the index. And so far, it's been a really good decision. Now, the market could crash tomorrow, but even if it crashes, it usually recovers. It's recovered every time, so it seems pretty fail-safe. I'm afraid Binance will do an MTGOX. Yeah, I'm terrified of everything. That's why you have to get a crypto wallet, a cold wallet, I guess they call it, a hardware wallet that is at your house, and you take your Bitcoin off of Binance or Coinbase or Mt. Gox or whatever, and you have it on your little device. If you are going to buy Bitcoin, don't leave it on an exchange. I'm telling you, this is a guy who lost a life-changing amount of money because I didn't keep my coins safe way back in the day. I have a friend who bought some coins around that time for his boss. He told me he was working for a Hollywood big guy, and he told him one day, go buy me X amount of dollars worth of that Bitcoin stuff. And he bought it around the same time I did. But he got word from someone that Mt. Gox was had problems. And so he spent, like he said, it was an entire day. He had to learn how to get it off of that exchange to another one. So he was able to save his boss all of his Bitcoins. But not me. But yeah, that's what they say, Kim. Not your keys, not your coins. Like if you don't have the keys to your Bitcoin, you don't have them. Robinhood, I heard, was doing it in a very strange way. Where they don't even, when you buy Bitcoin from them, you don't really own any Bitcoin. You own like a certificate that says one day when they get Bitcoin on their network, you'll own that Bitcoin. I wouldn't do that in a million years, unless it was priced at like 1% of the current price. It's so funny. We just start talking about stuff and now we're talking about Bitcoin and investing. It's fascinating stuff, man. Anybody tells you that like it's not cool to talk about this stuff, and they're crazy. Like, why do you talk about that stuff? You're the blah, blah, blah. It's personal finance, man. Should be the number one thing that kids learn in school. Personal finance. Love everyone and personal finance. And then learn to read and write. Well, I guess you have to learn to read, write, and personal finance. And then have a class on not judging others and loving everybody. That would be a good education. But no, in my school, we learned Oklahoma history, taught by a football coach who had to teach the class or he couldn't coach football. So here you have a football coach man who gives two shits about Oklahoma history, reading out of a book going, and on this day in 1442, Oklahoma had, everybody listen up, you know, being a total jerk. Those guys were complete a-holes, ass-hats. They were just morons, and they wanted to coach football, and they were good at that, but they were horrific teachers. But I'm not bitter. All right, so I don't know what we talked about today, but we're at 57 minutes, guys, and we're done. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We talked about news headlines, and the Pope, being a guy who dressed up as a wizard, is saying that gay marriage is not allowable, but hundreds of years of grown men having sex with young boys against their will is fine. But two grown men can't get married, two grown women can't get married, and it's the strangest thing. My sister married a woman just recently, and it's fine. I don't think God has any problem with it. We talked about GME and AMC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. And how affiliate marketing might have saved my life. Y'all come back tomorrow and we'll be here. Be sure and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because that's what all the cool YouTubers say. Smash that like button. Whoever started that should be smashed. AMC just hit 14 again, and GME's in a big, big dip, and I'm gonna buy it. Everybody have a great day. Coffee cheers on the way out. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I love you. Thanks for spending an hour with me this morning, and we've all got work to do. Bolo, get to work. We've got campaigns to run and dips to buy, guitars to play, and we're gonna do things that we can't. And I'm gonna go feed these poor mourning doves who are out there looking for food in the rain. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for coffee. Have a great day, and as always, I will see you in the future. And I agree, Chris, smash that like button is so guru-ish. It's all guru-ish. See you later, guys.